What's up guys, riding with D. This is the Trailmaster TM 38E. Let's check it out. Alright, so the Trailmaster TM 38. I've had a lot of comments wanting a review on this bike. I've seen a few things online about them, but there's not really much that they actually go into a lot of detail and show it riding and things like that. So got this TM 38 off MotoBuys, which is where I get most of my Chinese bikes from. There's some other places I get, but this one from MotoBuys. No affiliation with the channel, at least for this bike. So yeah, let's kind of go over it here. Pretty good looking bike. You know, this is obviously a replica of a KTM frame, which one funny thing is, let's see if you can see it. Don't know if you can, but right there it actually says KTM 350-03. Sorry for the bad angles. I don't know if you can see that on that, but it actually says that on the plastic right there, at least for the front. Some of them, I don't think there is one on the back. I have heard of people having one there, but yeah, so replica KTM 350 is kind of what we're going after, what they see. So yeah, I got this bike. It was not put together. I had to put everything together on it. You can buy it for an extra charge to have it put together for you. I want to say it was like 200 bucks. I will say this does not come with a toolkit to put it together. So you're gonna need more than just your average tools. So like this is obviously a pretty large size that a lot of people might not would have, at least for like an Allen key. It takes a little bit to get it together. It's going to take you a little while. It's not hard, don't get me wrong about that, but just know it's not like just throwing the front wheel on and kind of going. There's a little more to this bike. So you can look on the channel, there's actually a video of me putting it together. You have it, check it out. She's pretty heavy. It is 300cc or 298 is kind of what they get at. So kind of look at the welds there. They don't really, I mean, I'm not like a great welder myself or anything, but these welds don't look too grand to me. I actually think my TM31 looks better as far as the way the welds look. A lot of spattering and stuff like that. Other funny thing is you can tell they use this engine with a lot of other things as far as it actually being connected at different points. Yeah, so that's obviously for a different model, but hey, it comes with a nice skid plate. Whenever you get these, make sure you check every little nut and bolt, because some of them will already come together. This was extremely loose on mine, even though it was marked. It was really loose, like it was kind of rattling around and stuff. I had to tighten that up, so just make sure you definitely check that out whenever you get into this bike. Yeah, nice little glass there for your oil, to be able to check that. This is electronic fuel injection. It does not have the carburetor. Kind of get into more of that later. Obviously a nice linkage there, front and back, hydraulic disc brakes. Another thing is on the box it actually says not for highway use, but it actually has DOT on the rims. It has it, let's see, I want to say it is on the tires as well. These tires are obviously made in China, but there is an instance to where I want to say it was actually on the tire. I could be mistaken on that, but it is on the rim as far as the DOT stamp on the rims, which, you know, is good. I really wasn't expecting that, to be honest, whenever I seen that on the box. You can take the silencer out. It's extremely loud without it, but you do actually feel a little bit of power gain, but just like any other bike, it's going to make it a lot lean once you do that, so it's not going to necessarily run great. Well, over my linkage there. So, okay, kind of get into some of the problems so far. Okay, right when I got the bike, I needed to adjust the clutch. It wouldn't go into neutral whenever I stopped and it was running. Just if you have that same problem, that's just all you gotta do is adjust the clutch. whenever I went to adjust it, this one actually has the nice little handle, which a lot of Yamahas have that. I started trying to turn this. It would not turn. I kept doing it. It wound up just, you can see this one can turn by hand. It just broke. It was like it was cross-threaded. So, I mean, Motobuzz did make it right. It's just a pain whenever you have a new bike and something like this happens. So they sent me a whole new assembly. Of course, pictures, all that good stuff for me to have to get that whole new assembly. But they sent it out. It's adjusted now for the most part. It's still sort of quirky. Another problem, they haven't sent it yet, but whenever I'm riding around and the gas is sloshing, the cap, it is tight, the cap leaks, so that's a big pain. You'll see maybe you'll see it on the video, but riding it around when the engine gets real warm, it still acts similar to other bikes, like it's lean. The bad thing is this is electronically fuel injected. It does have an O2. I was really hoping that it would adjust itself. I rode it a good bit. It's still doing the same thing. It's still acting as if it's really lean and everything. So hopefully whenever we ride it, you will actually get to see that. Again, it's kind of after it warms up. It doesn't really, you can't really blip the throttle or nothing weird like that whenever you're downshifting it. It cranks up great, unlike the carbureted bikes, like say my TM31. I had to rejet it. However, once you get to going, that's where this one is not doing as good compared to the TM31. You could adjust it by jetting and everything was good. The only thing Motobuzz told me to do, which is not going to help the problem at all, is to adjust the idle to keep it running. I was like, okay, well, what's the idle supposed to be? And they said like 7,500 to 1,500. It was already around 1,500 RPM, so that wasn't going to do anything as far as solving my problem. So, these Chinese bikes definitely have problems. Obviously a lot of things here. You could tell this is all pretty cheap, compared to your Japanese models. That's, kind of rickety and cheap looking compared to your Japanese, but it works. It has worked. One thing, and it's funny that this actually kind of happened because I got an email from a viewer. They had a TM31 with this problem. My TM31 had it too, but out of the box, when I put everything together, whenever you turn to the right, it pulls the throttle cable and makes it rev up. For me, and also my TM31, I just adjust the throttle cable and it takes care of that problem. So if you're having that problem, maybe you can get it fixed. So, yep, you can hear it cut on there, but 2 switches. 1 just cuts on the ignition. 2, the lights are on. Obviously have your horn, everything over here turned. This is the Enduro model, but they actually say on the website, this is not an Enduro model. It's kind of depending upon your, the municipality, whether or not you could actually get it on the road. I have talked to my tag office and we're supposed to be finding a solution. That way this thing can actually get on the road. It'll probably have to be inspected, but yeah, I had high hopes for this thing. To be honest with you, I was really hoping this would be the step up compared to like the TM31, and it is. It's just, it has a whole nother, type of problems, and I was hoping it would just solve all the problems, like kind of like what the TM31 had. It solved some of the TM31's problems, and then this thing has its own problems. So, and then we'll kind of get into that as we ride it. So, yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Hopefully, this will be solved soon, and maybe we can sort of get it running right. But other than that, let's take this thing for a ride. So the Trailmaster TM 38. Let's see what we got here. So I'm 5'10", 155 pounds, and I'm a little bit up on my toes here, but this isn't quite like my KLX 300. It's not as high up, so definitely easy to sort of deal with. Let's see if she cranks up. Cranks right up. Right now she's actually idling a little high, probably because I just got her ready to go. So let's do a little bit of driving here and let's see how she feels. 5'10", 155 pounds. That way you can sort of determine your height with it. Hopefully my drone ain't about to crash out really bad there, because it just did a crazy maneuver. Come on, droney, don't get messed up now. I mean, the engine does pretty well. It's about to crash. Boom, and there she went. Nice. Look good. Alright guys, let's give this another try with the good old TM38 here. Take it for a little ride and see what we think. It definitely cranks up better than the TM31. It's definitely a higher strung engine, so it doesn't really like to lug around. It likes to be up in the high RPMs. She feels heavier than most bikes that I have that are heavier than this one. So that I don't really, like about it. Now, being heavy and feeling heavy is two different things. Because being heavy can help you on the trails as far as it throwing you off or anything like that. This thing isn't as heavy, so it sort of bounces around, but yet it feels real heavy, but not as planted. So I don't really like that about it. I might could, maybe help that with some adjustments on this bike. I have adjusted it a good bit, trying to get her right. She does have power. As you can see, it doesn't like to be blipped whenever it warms up like that. Oh no, I don't. Oh, come on, what? Yeah, that's one thing that we just witnessed right then about this bike. Now, when you read forums, they're like, oh, fuel injection, they don't like to be blipped because it's trying to, make sure it's the correct amount of, in other words, you blip carburetors to sort of prime them for whatever it is you're going to do. I blip all my bikes that have fuel injection. I don't have this problem. I talked to Motobis again, and they're wanting me to make the idle go up again. This thing's right at 2,000 RPMs. I mean, that's pretty high. So I don't think that's going to help anything. I think it's a lean issue, similar to what a lot of bikes you have problems with nowadays because of emissions. But the thing about this one, you don't have a fuel controller, you can't make the lean issue go away, unlike a carburetor. So if you can get the carburetor version of this bike, it would help that problem. But again, we're trying to solve problems on these Chinese bikes. But maybe I'm just ignorant about something. I really want to lock, right then it was sort of sputtering. Like you see that, feel that a good bit on this bike, which I do not like. And maybe that's what you get whenever you don't, have a dealership to adjust everything for you. But I've rebuilt a lot of bikes. I don't have any problems like I do with these things. These Chinese ones, as far as getting them just right. The TM31 I got pretty right, but then it's lacking in suspension, it's lacking in other categories. So this one with the fuel injection and stuff, I was like, well, I mean, how bad could it be? But yet here we are. Definitely growing up down here. It's been a while, been a minute since I've been on this side. There, I don't know if you noticed that was a sputter. I was trying to give it gas and it sort of sputtered out, so yeah. Let's get this thing turned around. Maybe it just wants to be in the same RPMs, and it does. But I mean, it's a dirt bike. You want to be able to trail ride. I mean, come on. this isn't that bad of a trail. I mean, not bad at all. This is where her feeling heavy will come into play. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not like, this is almost like a blend. This is what it reminds me of. So it's like a blend of a race bike on the trails without the race bike hit of power. So what I mean by that, it wants to be in the high RPMs like most race bikes, but most race bikes, it has that hit of power. This one really don't have it. It has a lot of bark, but not necessarily the big bite of the race bike. So, and to me, on the trails, I like the tractor feel. But some people, they might like something like this. Huh. Let's just go down the dirt road. See how she feels. Just steady RPM. Hey, it's an enduro. Maybe this is what people want. It's just the dirt road. Get on moderate trails. Those were moderate trails. Those are definitely were not, you know, hard back there. So, you know, maybe they just want to go really slow or ride dirt roads. Whoa, whoa. I know you can't. Okay. I know you can't feel it, obviously, on the camera, and you probably can't even see it. It's really windy right now. Hopefully you can actually hear me, but the front end, I don't know if it's the tires, because the sag, I set the sag on this bike for myself, so that shouldn't be the issue. But the front, yeah, it's like then it kind of wants to pull me. It's really wavy, I don't know. Definitely not confidence inspiring, I'll tell you that. So on the road. Yeah, not bad at all. If you can hear me, I know it's pretty windy. It definitely feels fine on the road. Yeah, I don't really know why I was feeling like that on the dirt road, but right now, not bad. You could ride around on this thing on the road and it feels pretty good. Of course, I'm not going really fast or anything like that, but she definitely has decent power. Miles an hour, 6,500 RPMs and 6 gears, so you could do, oh, it kind of had a little choice just then, coming up on that curve. So yeah, for the road, I'd say she gets a pass. Feels great. Feels like any other bike to be on the road so far. Maybe it's the tires, because whenever I go into a turn, I do feel a slight little shimmy to it. Right then, that was the roadway. Right now, I'm just trying to really pay attention on how she feels. Alright, so final thoughts on the old Trailmaster. Kind of like the other one. They're getting there. The suspension on this thing is really good. It's KKE, same thing you see on your Ultra Bs, you know, things like that. Fully adjustable, feels great on the trails. I'm not really used to the handling of this bike. I know I have rode this thing trying to get it adjusted and get it right before I did the review, because I didn't want to give it a bad review just because I didn't adjust it correctly or something of that nature. But it doesn't give you confidence. On the road it feels fine, but there's not much, you know, going on the road. The tires can stick. Now you might say, well, you're on a you're on a dirt road, it's going to feel sort of odd and things like that, but other bikes aren't like that. And like I said, most of the time it's the sag isn't correct, and it, you know, it makes it to where the front washes or grips too much and sort of jumps around. But it could be just the odd tires on this thing. You know, I don't know. I don't really want to waste money putting new tires on it, and then it still has the weird handling problem. Everything is tight, everything's been adjusted, so to me the handling is real bad on it. You know, as far as what you'd want to do with it, dirt road riding, trails, you know, on the roadway you're going to be fine. If you could kind of fix that going from the road to the dirt, you know, it would be a decent bike. The power is there. Now, it's not a ton of power. I actually thought this thing was going to have a good bit. You know, they're saying around 30, 35 horsepower. Yeah, but like I said, it's heavy, so it really doesn't even feel that powerful to me. Now, it does feel more powerful than my KLX, but it could be too the feeling of this thing revving up so high to finally get it, you know, where you want it. So, yeah, I mean, she gets up and goes. The engine feels really solid, like it feels smooth, like there's not like a ton of vibration or anything, so definitely a smooth feeling engine. Would I recommend this bike to somebody? The answer is no, I would not. Here's why. And I know I harp on this all the time, but this thing costs about $3,800 getting it to your door if you pay the full price. Well, I think the full price is more than that, but that's about usually what you can get them for. You do get a lot for that. You know, it's an enduro model. Like, it has a lot going for it. If your municipality will let you get a tag on it, you know, that's a whole nother argument. There's a lot of technology as far as electronically fuel injected, you know, adjustable KKE suspension. Hey, that's all great. However, there's tons of adjustments you have to do, but it don't go to the dealer. So, okay, let's give it that. But then you have all these cheap little fixtures on it, we'll say, and things that have broken. That usually isn't the case on other bikes that I had. You know, the odd handling, you know, things like that. Would I get on this one compared to some of my other bikes? No. But my other bikes cost more, so, you know, that's kind of where it gets you. But here's the thing, and I say it in almost all my videos. Before you get this, either one, you're a tinkerer, like meaning you like to work on things, you're good at it, so you could definitely get this bike, get it probably where you want it, and maybe that's something you want to do. Okay, yeah, definitely get this one. If you really want to get something, get on it and ride by the weekend, or you buy it on Friday because you're going out with your buddies on Saturday. Don't get this thing, because it's going to take you a while to get her back, get it to where it needs to be. Whoa, all those twitches right there. So look in the used market, get a used KLX 300. It's going to be a little bit slower. You can get the enduro model. You know, don't buy it. They should have a title with it. It's going to be close. You might have to give a little bit more to the price of this thing, and also the resale is going to be a lot better for you. So that's my 2 cents, guys. If you still stay in tune, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Please look at the links below to try to help this channel.
A few moments later.